Hey everyone, in this episode we're going to take a break from making the admin panel and we're going to display the products and actually be able to visit the page where the product is hosted. We will return to making the admin panel when we completed the checkout process. The user is actually placing orders and then the admin can do his bit. Okay, so let's go into our UI pages and let's open the two index files. We actually don't need the CS file. Let's remove this form here and let's remove the comments. So we're only left with the for loop where we iterate through our products. Okay, let's put a link here and let's put a link to a page called product, right? So we want to go to a product page and we want to pass a variable of not ID but rather name, because if we navigate to our product view model, I'm using F12 to skip between between the variables like that. But basically, we don't include ID here, and that's because when we go to a product, we want our route to not have a number, but rather tell the user what kind of product they're navigating at. Okay, so we want to pass a name. Now, let's first of all go into our products and let's create a service that will handle getting the product individually, right? So let's quickly open this up and let's copy everything that's in here. Okay. Uh, import your application DB context and make sure you fix the name of the constructor. Next thing, we don't want to return an enumerable, we want to return a single product. So let's remove the to list as well. And let's put a where clause rather, because we are going to be passing a name, so we will need to find this product by name. And in the method, we're going to be passing a name string, right? So at this point, NT framework will construct the query. So what we want to do is just grab first our default here. Okay. Next thing, we also want to include, it's a method from NT framework core, and what we want to include is the stock. All right. So now that we have stock, we want to include the stock in our product view model. So first, let's create a class. Let's look into our domain stock and let's grab all these. Actually, we don't need the quantity. Let's grab just the ID and the description. I'm going to show you what we're going to do with the quantity instead. We want to have what I would rather have than displaying the quantity to the user of our stock is I want to have a boolean and I want to call it in stock. Okay. And I'll keep this comment here, and what we want to do is take this stock object that I have not yet created, prop of enumerable stock view model, and let's call it stock. Right, so now in the stock we want to take the stock object, which is a collection of stock, and we want to select, say, y new stock view model. All right, so this is going to return a list of stock view models. And let's just quickly assign the ID, description, and in stock we want to do quantity more than 0. So if quantity is more than 0, it's in stock, set in stock true. Okay, so that looks like it's taken care of. Let's go into our pages and Control Shift A. Let's create a new Razor page called product. Let's add it. Let's also enter the CS file that we actually need. Let's close this stock. We don't need to look at it. What we want to do is get this constructor real quick to be able to get the context. Import that and change the name of the constructor. Cool. And now what we want to do is make a prop product view model, and we want to import it from get product. Okay, I don't like the way it's using that, so I'll just put it here, and I will import this. Okay, so a single product, and we're going to be passing a name, and product equals new get product. Just pass this and call do, and to our do we want to pass our name. Okay, so we're getting a product, single product, populating the stock. We have a link. All right, cool. Let's see what's happening. Run the debugger, and let's put a breakpoint here. All right, let's quickly put breaks here, so they are each in their separate line. Cool. Let's open developer tools as well, and I just want to bring your attention here to the route, right? So you can see that the route has a question mark, and what basically the route, the whole URL is what you see here in the address bar. It's the whole URL, but there are parts to the URL like the protocol, your port number, your domain, your path, and the query. So right now what's happening is we're passing the name as a query. So we do get the name, but as you can see, the route itself doesn't look too presentable. So what we want to do is we want to first pass it in as the actual path, not a query. So in your product.cshtml, at near your page selector, open your quotes and curly brackets and type in name, same as the name, same as the property name. All right, a little bit confusing, that statement, but it makes sense. If we go to our admin controller, you can see how we use these curly brackets here in the route to pass in the ID value. The same thing essentially is happening here. This is how you specify the route. Okay, so let's give the main page a refresh, and now you can see that the URL is actually changed. So now it's not a query, and if we open this, you can see the name is still getting populated correctly, but now it changed to being a full path and not the query. So you can see that the .NET Core essentially automatically can see the route you're making and correctly compile this razor view. So one thing though, this thing right here, this percentage sign represents a space. So what we want to do is when we do construct the route, say replace, we want to replace the space with a dash rather. Let's copy this function, stop debugging, go into our product here, and let's do the same, but we're going to do an opposite replace here. So we're going to replace the dash with the space. Let's run this. Alright, so you can see we're getting test dash update as a name, and now we have a pretty URL with the product. Alright, so let's just quickly display product information. We'll style this later, don't worry, but essentially what we want to do is model product name, copy this a few times, say description, value. Let's make a div, and here I want to display the stock. So the way we're going to be doing this, we're going to be using a select input, and then for each variable of stock in the model, what we want to do is display an option. And this is why we brought in the ID. So we're going to be using the ID here, and we're going to be using the description to show what kind of stock is. So let's give it a label. So this is about as much prettying up as I'm gonna do here. Let's remove this, refresh. Okay. So this product doesn't have actually any stock, and this one does. Cool. So now you can select the stock, and yeah. So one last thing. Let's do. If you go to a product that doesn't exist, it sort of gives you that error. So when we navigate to our product here, instead of void, what we want to return is an action result. And at the end here, we want to check if product is null, right? And if it is, we want to redirect to page. Now let's just redirect to, back to the product list. Let's not tell them that this product doesn't exist. If you want, you can create your own page, like product doesn't exist. Check out why not check out these products. All right, and yeah, if you want to just return the page, the razor page for this razor page, just say return page. Great terminology. Just naming conventions make so much sense. And what it doesn't, people hate Microsoft. But so far, so good. All right, so let's see what happens if we go to product that doesn't exist. Pops us back to the main page. Okay, cool. This will be it for this episode. If you like these series, guys, like, subscribe, help me grow my channel out so more people can learn this technology. If you have any questions, I highly encourage you to leave a comment. I'm trying to actively answer as many questions as possible with as much detail. So make sure when you ask a question, include as much detail as possible so I know what kind of errors you're getting and what steps you're being stuck at. And but do make sure you read through other comments if there are going to be many at this point. If people are running into the same issues you kind of having, maybe there are already answers there. But yeah, as always, see you in the next episode.